Our next guest says that U.S. support for Israel is crucial and that there should be no backing down until Hamas is eliminated. Joining us now, former U.S. ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, also former governor of South Carolina, and a 2024 presidential candidate that's right there with Governor DeSantis, either right there or...
Getting past him. We're going for the big guy.
What is it? If you want something done?
If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
I know. I can't believe I bring that up. It seems like I'm undercutting myself in some way. No,
Or speaking the truth.
Yeah, or speaking the truth. I can tie it all together in this way. We wanted to talk to you about the new speaker and the chaos in the House. The new speaker mentioned we need to get aid okayed for Israel, but left out Ukraine in that whole equation. And we've seen that President Biden wants to tie the two together. What's the right thing to do?
You know, the one thing I'll say is America has to get this right. The world is on fire, and America has to get this right. The right thing to do is we were there for Ukraine because it's a pro-American, freedom-loving country that was invaded by a thug. And that thug has said that once he takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. Those are NATO countries, and that's about war. We're about preventing war. So you've got Ukraine. Then you have Israel. And we see what's happening in the Middle East. We do both. If you leave Ukraine, then the next step is they're going to want to leave Israel. We already accepted defeat in Afghanistan. That was horrible, the way it happened. We cannot leave Ukraine. You can do both. And we should do both. It's the right thing to do. And so anybody that's saying, oh, now you have to pick between Ukraine and Israel, that's an absolute mistake. You have to always be there for our friends. And we should never be so arrogant to think we don't need friends. On September 12th, we needed a lot of friends. We've got to quit talking like it's September 10th.
What do you think the end game, though, is for Israel? Because Hamas is as much about individual actors as it is almost about an idea. And I wonder, just long term, how you even get to an end game.
That idea has a lot of actors and proponents, and we've seen it around the world.
Clearly, but also the backlash against however you would get to Hamas, however you would hold these individuals accountable, there is going to be losses along the way. And the question is, how do you do that in a way that actually makes the world come together around this?
You're not going to please the world.
You're not going to. Look, Israel has always tried to defend itself, and Israel has always been hit because of it. And what I would say at the United Nations, and what I'll say today, if that happened to any other country, there would be hell to pay. But because it's Israel, everybody's like, don't do too much. We should be doing three things. One, support Israel, whatever they need, whenever they need it, no questions asked. Two, eliminate Hamas. Don't weaken them, eliminate them, because if we don't, they will do this again. And three, do whatever it takes to get our hostages home. But see the bigger picture of all of this. There would be no Hamas without Iran. And look at what the bigger story of this all is. You have China and Russia name themselves unlimited partners. Iran is their junior partner. China is importing all of its oil from Iran, sending billions of dollars their way that they support terrorism with. Russia's getting drones and missiles from Iran. Look at the three. What do they all have in common? They all want to destroy the West, and they all hate America.
The Economist, the latest edition, has this question, wondering if we will be stretched too thin to fight a potential three-pronged war, the two that exist right now, and add China to the mix. What happens? Is there a way to do this without creating World War III?
Yes, there's a way to do this. And first of all, you look at Ukraine and Israel. If we just dealt with those two, that's only 20% of what Biden's green subsidy bill did.
But if we deal with what's happening with Hamas, and you brought up Iran, does that mean we deal with Iran too? And how do you not start World War III without doing that?
If you eliminate Hamas, you're sending Iran a message. Right now, look at how Iran is acting. They're trying to, Qatar, the fact that they've negotiated hostages, we've had 4 prayers answered. We've got 210 prayers to go. But why are they doing this? They're trying to avoid Iran being embarrassed by Israel going and taking out Hamas. They're sending strikes from Hezbollah. They're sending strikes from
But that's the
Houthis.
question. I mean, I agree with you. Israel should be able to defend itself. I just wonder how we do this without... You think Iran will step down if Hamas is eliminated in in Gaza?
You do it with strength. First of all, we don't know what Iran is going to do, but we don't run from fear. What we do is we eliminate Hamas. Don't forget that they rounded up those children, tied their hands behind their back, and burned them alive.
Are we going after Hamas leadership in Qatar? Right? I mean, are we really doing this?
We should.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, that's when people say they want to go after Hamas, then the true domino effect is real. So you have to go into Qatar, a country that says that they're our friend, and you'd have to do things that would be very, very complicated.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you don't do them. I'm just saying all of a sudden it gets...
No, that's exactly what we did with ISIS. Do you think we didn't go take out the heads of ISIS? We did that wherever they were. We don't go to one region. We go and take out the people who were doing this. It's the reason we took out Soleimani. You go and take out anyone who wants to destroy America or destroy our friends. And we have to start getting this conversation right. You know, I look at what's happening on college campuses, and thank goodness for the donors pulling their money or people leaving boards. But what are all of them saying on college campuses? First, there should be freedom of speech, but you don't get freedom of hate. And what we're seeing now is they're talking about occupation. Is there occupation in Gaza? There's absolutely occupation in Gaza by Hamas.
It's funny because
there's not an Israeli or a Jewish person in Gaza.
Governor, some of the same people who are saying you don't get to have freedom of hate, you're allowed to have freedom of speech. But now they're saying you need to have freedom of hate. Some of the same people that didn't, that would apply that rule in one setting are now saying, do you think we should be doxing students that and their lives can be affected in the future if they show up at a...
I tell my children now, everything you put on social media and everything you say is going to dictate who hires you and whether you get a job.
Bill Ackman won't hire someone that he sees at a rally at Harvard.
I wouldn't hire someone that's celebrating Hamas. I wouldn't hire someone who is going to go out there and spew hatred because I don't know what they're going to do in my company. And so what I'll tell you is I think we should revoke all the tax-exempt status of universities that are allowing this to happen in the first place.
I think
Their
your
job
competitor
is to protect students.
Your competitor just did that in Florida.
You should. Any university that doesn't protect students, any university that allows hate to spew, you should go and pull their tax-exempt status. Colleges don't get the right to do this.